Propel Fitness Water. With Gatorade electrolytes, zero sugar, and vitamins, Propel hydrates better than water to help you get the most out of your workout and get back to your best self. What propels you? Propel with Gatorade electrolytes.
This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Unplugged, end of January here, episode 541. I think I got that right. Today we're going to let you listen to Office Hours, one of the many things we do in the teachhoops.com community. Office Hours, we're going to talk about all sorts of different things within that, motion offense, press break, screening, all those things that you probably are questioning. So come over and join us, teachhoops.com, for coaches who want to get better. 14-day free trial while it lasts. And then also go over and check out Dr. Dish. They're down in our show notes. Go over and click it. Look at all the things that you can do. They are so good about having the resources not only on your phone, and the workouts already pre-programmed into the Dr. Dish, but they have, if you go on YouTube or any place else, they have all sorts of resources that will make you a better basketball coach. So go over and check those great people out. Mention Coach Unplugged, and they'll give you $350 off your next purchase. All right, let's head off to the podcast.
So I think you're really going to enjoy this podcast. If you like the show, I ask that you go subscribe and leave some reviews. Those really help on iTunes, just so people can find us. So here's Charlie. I tell him I'm a little out of sync there, but I think you're going to enjoy this. So here we go.
I spent a lot of time going through a lot of
Bergman's things.
Yeah, Bergman's I mentioned, and just given my own experiences and just digesting a lot of things, and having coached a team last year and got a new team this year. These are seventh going into 8th grade.
Okay.
And
seventh.
Just Bergman offense.
Really, 7th right now.
They're in 7th grade now, right?
Okay.
And just quickly profile the team. There's about 7 guys that are pretty quick, pretty fast.
Okay.
And I'd like to kind of take advantage of that. I got one guy that's kind of a slow mover. Another big guy that moves and dribbles pretty well. So looking for something. I hear these motion offenses. I mean, there's just a lot of variations of things. Very first practice, I tried this swing offense. I mean, I understand it, but it just seemed like it was too slow, and there's just too much going on one side of the court. And
yep. So swing is pretty mechanical, in the sense that and I ran swing for a while, and I ran flex for a while. The problem with it, and it might work in the summer in the sense that there's not a lot of time to scout and that kind of stuff. But it's pretty predictable. Good way to kind of stop it is to switch it. Yeah. So, I mean, it can work at the younger levels. Some of my better teams, I actually, hold on, I'm going to change my mic. Some of my better teams, I actually ran it just to kind of control them a little bit. So it's not a bad offense to have in the sense that if they get going too fast, it will slow them down.
So I might not throw it out. It doesn't take much to teach it.
Right.
Right. I mean, they probably could go and run it at the next practice. It slows them. Yeah, it can slow them down because you're going to play some teams that are going to be pretty fast, is my guess.
Yeah, last year's I expect, to see that a lot of the same teams, the guys press the heck out of us the whole game.
Yeah.
Lots of pressure. Well, I mean, they sensed. I got a little different group this year, but I mean, they smell blood and they just pound you.
Oh, and they'll come at you too. So do you spend a lot of time? We'll go back to the offensive part. Do you spend a lot of time on press breaks?
That's right on the tip of my, brain. Right after this offensive stuff.
Okay.
I just realized last year I didn't get anything offensively, like really solidified going into the first tournament, and I paid for it. But press break was probably even more important because I couldn't get the ball into a set.
Yeah, so I know. Yeah, so the teams that I've seen, especially in summer, if you can't break pressure, it doesn't matter what offense you run because you're not going to get. I mean, you're right; they're just going to swarm you, and there's going to be no whistle call.
No.
So, do you have a post?
Yeah.
Okay, and is he a true post? Can he play a 5? Can he shoot a 3? Can he step out? Okay.
He can step out and shoot a 3. His shot's a little flat, but he's a good player.
He's a threat. He's not like a big slow. He can.
No.
Okay. So is everybody kind of interchangeable other than maybe the point guard?
Yeah, they're all pretty interchangeable. I got one. I'll just sort of discount him for now, but I got one guy who's the bigger, slower guy. Not super slow. He's got some game, but I wouldn't trust him shooting from 3, and I don't think he's interested in doing it. But everybody else,
so you might want to run like a 4-out, 5-out motion.
Yeah, and that's what I started with, or at least introduced it in practice. I introduced sort of Bergman's just pass and cut to try to get that action going.
Yep. So what I would do is, and it's probably more of a read and react than it is a dribble drive. I'm not a big dribble drive person because I think the first thing they learn to do when they learn to play is dribble, and they all dribble too much.
Yep.
So that's why I'm not a big fan of dribble drive. I think it's got some good things. So I think you're probably, if you didn't like swing and flex, you probably aren't going to like a structured thing. So I would think read and react would be the way to go. And what I would do is read and react is basically layers, and there's like 8 billion layers. With my guys, I got my guys down to like 8. These are the 8 rules. For you, I'd probably do like 3 rules or 4 rules and just work on those rules.
Yep.
So it's going to depend. If you have 5 guys, you do 5 spots. You do 5 specific spots. So when we run it, let me do the shared screen here so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I want to do this, but I don't like green. Let's do black. So the 5 spots, I'm going to put you over there. Hold on one second. I just got to move this over so I can have I can see my stuff. All right. So there's basically 5 spots. So this is the 3-point line is going to look ugly because I'm trying to draw it. Night, Emma. So you're going to put 1 here, 1 here. The 5 spots are your normal 5 spots.
Yep.
And those should always be filled.
Yep.
So the first rule that I taught my young guys was if you're overplayed, you backdoor. So rule number 1 is overplayed. Backdoor. So what does that do? It basically, and that's going to be hard for them. So because what happens is, I'm guessing, but what happens is they get up. They're not sagging in here in the summer. They're up in your grill for the most part.
For the most part, they want to get the steal.
They're up. So whenever someone's doing that, so in this layer, you basically got to work on 2-on-2, 3-on-3 drills where the defender, you're having them deny as hard as they can, and you basically just teach them how to backdoor cut. So that's the first rule. That would be one I would definitely have in. Rule number 2 is after you pass, you cut to the basket. And I would just leave it that way. We have some subsets to that, but and then what I teach my guys is you got to put your head under the rim, because what they'll do is, like, this guy will pass from here to here, and he'll cut, but he won't cut all the way. He'll just kind of cut, and then he'll kind of replace. So then what happens is if he cuts, so this person's got the ball, he cuts, he's going to replace, and then he's going to fill the spot. So it's leaving, because the funny thing is you don't have to teach them to dribble drive, because they will dribble drive. You know, even if you don't do anything, they're going to drive to the basket because they're going to see lanes, which is good, especially if you have 5 guys that are capable of doing it. Mm-hmm. If you have a 3-point shooting team, then you're going to tell them to drive. As soon as they get stopped, then you're going to kick. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how good as shooters they are. It's hard in 7th and 8th grade sometimes. Those shots are tough.
Yeah.
So after you pass, you cut to the basket. Weak side replaces, so I would leave that. All right, so is only the big – how many big guys do you have? 2?
2.
So their rule is after they pass, they cut, and they can post up for a 2 count. So that's another rule for them. I don't know if you want to post up the guards, but then you just tell those 2. Your rule is, so let's say this guy passes, this guy's a big, and he passes it here. He cuts under the basket, and then he gets to post up for a 2 count. As soon as that 2 count's over, he's out of there. So it's a specific rule for them. And I don't know if your guys are strong enough for skip passes, but the next thing that happens is if they do, so another rule, so that'd be rule 3 would be for the posts or whoever you want to designate, or if you want to have an isolation, you pass, you get a 2-second cut, because they won't be expecting that at all. Mm-hmm. Because everyone's going to be cutting so much. And then if they do dribble drive, everyone replaces. So let's say the ball, let's say the ball is passed from the top here. So the ball is passed from here over to here, and let's say the ball is passed here. Okay. He cuts. They're all moving this way. He's going to eventually come back over here.
Right.
He drives to the basket. Then he's going to replace behind. He's not going to cut to the basket. So as people drive to the basket, you're not cutting to the basket. You're replacing opposite. So whenever someone drives to the basket, they know someone's going to be behind them for a kick. We've had problems with that. My varsity's had problems with that. That seems like that's the way the game is going. Drive, if you can take it, go. If you can't, kick. And then I don't know about if they sag, you want to work on skip passes. But I don't think sagging, that's our 5th rule, is if they sag, you want to skip pass it. Okay. So just go over if they're overplayed, cut to the basket. I mean, I'm again countering what the game is moving. The game is moving right now to shooting threes and dribble drive. I'm kind of countering that in the sense that I want spacing. I want to give them lanes to create. So one is if they're overplayed backdoor, if you pass, put it under the basket. If you're a post, you get to post up for a 2 count. If someone dribble drives, you replace behind. I would start with those 4. The only issue is if you have one of those bigs and they gotta play, I put them in the mid post when I do it. So I don't necessarily. Let me put this back up here. So I would I don't put him in the low block because it takes away his ability to drive baseline. I put him in mid block in here. So they'll get pushed down to the low block anyway, but I put him in that mid block if you got to run 4 out. And then the only different rule is if he drives, he has to move.
Yeah.
He can't stay. So he's either got to flash the basket, he's got to go up and set a back screen. So the interesting thing about read and react is there's not a lot of ball screening and there's not a lot of screening, which is a really hard skill to teach. And you have such a small amount of time that you can teach them to cut to the basket. You can teach them that if you're overplayed back door, you'll get really good looks. It's a matter of being able to create on those probably.
I'm trying to teach them. I mean, they did a real good job of. So I introduced it, in stages.
Yep.
3 out, then 4 out.
Yep. And that's 5, perfect. Yep.
And 5 out, so that they get the idea of basically they're replacing the direction away from their pass.
Yep.
And I stood underneath the hoop. They had to give me a fist bump or something. I wanted to get them all the way under the hoop.
Yep. Get their head under. Yep. That's perfect.
And then, as I started to introduce defense, well, even before I introduced defense, I observed what they're doing. Number one, as they were filling, as soon as they got the ball, they weren't getting in triple threat. They were just looking to pass and cut. Right.
So what I do is I tell them that they have to look at the rim, which is what they want to look at because half of them want to score. Probably.
Yeah.
And the reason you have them look at the rim is because they'll see the cutters and it will force them to get in triple threat. Because the problem is it becomes this hot potato. That's not the point of it. So, yes, triple threat is really big. We can talk about, where we want to keep the ball a little bit. But, yes, I always say you got to peek. I talk about peeking. You always want to peek at the rim because if you look at the rim, you'll see the whole court.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see in my head what happens. You did it. 3-on-3 look good. 4-on-4, 5-on-5, but then it becomes this hot potato. And then as soon as you put the defense in, everything's just shot probably.
Well, that and even before I put the defense in, so it's a hot potato. I'd say, okay, after the 5th pass, game on.
Right.
So after the 5th pass, it's just well, okay, now the defense is in. I said after the 5th pass, it's game on.
Right.
And so they did their cuts. They got to the hoop. They did their fills. Everything, court spacing was wonderful. But then after the 5th pass, whoever had the ball, they went 1-on-1. They never hit the cutter.
Right. So you got to work, and that's something I didn't say in the before. You have passing to a cutter is hard. It's not an easy thing. So it's going to be hard on here, but what I refer to is, and it's a PGC thing. I talk about breaking windows.
Yeah.
So you can always make a pass over either ear. You can make a pass over the head. If someone's playing defense, it's impossible for them to deflect those. But if I have my hands up like this, there are 4 windows in which you want to pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I always talk about breaking a window. There's a window at this ear, a window at this ear, and both hips. Most kids go what I refer to as Statue of Liberty, which is up here.
Yep.
Okay. Up at their belly, which is pregnant, and then down below is which I say is giving birth. That way, when I refer to them, they know what I'm talking about. So Statue of Liberty, pregnant, and giving birth. Those places the ball should never be. And this is going into what we were talking about before with getting pressed. Mm-hmm. If you're putting the ball up here, you're toast.
Yep.
So have a kid do this and then have the other kid go to try it. They'll be able to pound it out. But if they put it in triple threat and it's close to their body, they won't be able to pound it. There's no center. You have no strength up here, and you can't do anything, and you're not a threat. So if they're in that triple threat and they peak, it will force them to get the ball down here into that kind of scoring pocket, which is what you want.
So you're saying, and this is something I think what you're saying is, or how I'm getting this is, I mean, when I played, I didn't even realize I was doing this, but I was a pretty good passer, and I would zing passes right by guys' ears, over their head, and just within inches.
Within inches, and they can't stop it.
They can't stop it.
No,
and I never consciously did it.
Right.
But after reading all the, studying some of the stuff, being a coach or starting to be a coach now, I'm like, I was doing that on my own, and occasionally I'd hit a guy in the face, but Not very often, but
Yeah, but the issue is you and I lived in a different era where we were just playing too. Like it was survival of the fittest.
yeah.
To be honest with you, like I had an older brother. I had to go to the park. I went to Penn Park. I went to James Madison places. And if I didn't learn that stuff, I was going to lose, and I was never going to get picked, and I wasn't going to play. These kids haven't experienced that. So so we have to basically teach them all of the things that you and I have already knew as old guys, because we learned it just playing. They play, but they don't really play. I don't know how to describe it, but there's no survival. There's another game in 2 hours. There's another game in 2 hours.
Good point.
We had a player. We sat in the white milk jug with water in it in a summer day and had to sit at the sideline for 40 minutes. We didn't want to do that.
Yeah, you call a game and there's like 30 guys waiting, and
yeah, you went home because it's like, hell, you weren't going to play. Yeah. And so they don't know that stuff. I swear. I mean, some of my great players don't know. I mean, I literally have to teach them that stuff. It's crazy.
So like cutters,
so I would do like a 2-on-2 drill where you're just cutting, or a 3-on-3 drill where they're just cutting and they're passing, and you say the only way that you can score is on a cut to the basket. So you got to force them to get that feeling, because then I say, stop. See what that felt like? That's what we got to get. You're going to go to the free throw line. You're going to get 3-point plays. You're going to be able to kick it out. But that is not a skill. If you drive and they shoot a 3 with no one in the gym, they're fine. I mean, they're good at that. They're really good because that's what they do. They go in the gym and they shoot 3s. They're really good at that. But they're not good at those moving things. You got to drill that. They'll do the other things for you, but the passing on a cutter is a really hard skill. But but people can't defend it either.
Yeah, my kind of philosophy is, first of all, guys, at least when we try to defend guys in my past teams, and guys cut on us, they were always beating us. Right. And also, if you get a few rotations of this thing, guys get tired of defending. They're not going to chase anybody.
If you saw my team this year, we ran a variation of this, much more complicated. And we couldn't. We lost in the state semifinal game because we couldn't score really, other than maybe 1 or 2 people. We were good, but we couldn't score. But we just ran. By about 30 seconds, I could see it on the tape. Every time down, I could see it on the tape. 30 seconds, people are just dying, and then they can't go down and score on the other end. It was
you tire them out.
You tire them out because they got to play. If you don't play defense, we're going to get a layup on you. I don't want to say it's a Princeton thing, but
yeah,
because Princeton was like, we're going to take, but it's those kind of, if they buy into it, and they're in 7th grade, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
13, but once they get a couple cuts and a couple layups, they'll go, ooh, this is all right, and then it's going to open up the 3s for them.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering, with all this passing and cutting, it seems to sort of spell everything's got to end at the rim. And it's not going to end at the rim because somebody's going to be standing there.
Yep.
But you're just saying it's kind of naturally going to work itself out. Like they're going
to get stopped and they're going to
have to kick it.
They're going to stop and they're going to shoot the floater. They're going to stop and they're going to get fouled. They're going to stop. They're not going to get to the rim because there's always going to be these, these guys that look like they're 35 playing summer basketball. That's just what it is. Yeah.
But I assume one of my objectives, or main objective, is to give these guys some skills that they can bring into high school, because I assume most of them want to play, and I think this kind of offense is a good.
It's teaching them how to play too. I could teach your group. I could teach them swing effectively pretty quickly. And I'm not worried about if their coach happens to run something like that. So,
because I don't want to run, 7, Badger and Indiana and Carolina and
right. You don't want to run, and you don't want to run 85 quick hitters. So,
So what about? So I guess the other thing I observed, and maybe is just because they're all trying to impress early on, but when I'm running this thing, they were cutting so fast. they start almost running into each other, getting each other's way.
Yep.
And when I'm watching, the NCAA, and obviously it's a whole nother level, but I'm seeing, and even some high school teams, they're coming down, setting it up. You might see these cuts. They seem like they're, there's only a couple people. One cut happens, another cut happens. It feels like when I'm watching my guys, I got 3 guys cutting in the lane at one time. I know that's not what's happening, but
right,
it seems very congested.
It does. That's why you got to keep it in. You got to stay in those 5 spots if it's going to work, and you have to have. That's where I might keep flex in. It's like, okay, would you rather run this or would you rather run this kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to run this and I want to be able to do these things. But if you're going to go too fast, then we're going to slow you down.
Okay.
So, there's ways that, you can come, especially in the summer, you can say, hey, we need a post touch we need a touch in the paint before you even take a shot kind of things. There's ways to slow them. It doesn't have to be a post up. It has to be, the ball has to get into the paint. That will force them while then they get stopped. They can do the kick, those kind of things. But summer, I'm going to tell you right now, summer is a faster speed.
Sure.
There's not, the defense isn't as good. There's not, you don't practice every day. It's just different. It's good, but it's just a different kind of good. It's more pressure. It's more quick shots. It's more, we're going to turn you over. It's more, the officials aren't going to blow the whistle ever.
Right.
You better be strong with the ball because you're not going to get a foul call, which is good. Some of that stuff correlates really well to high school. Some of it doesn't, which usually takes me to January to get rid of. But some of it's good. Some of the strength and taking care of the ball and knowing that you're not going to get foul calls and things like that.
Yeah, to develop a strong mind, to play through the stuff so that, you don't become first guy back in the huddle saying, I'm getting fouled.
Right. And we all know you're getting fouled.
Yeah, I know. So,
what do you want me to do about it? I'd like to coach the rest of the game, not be thrown out and sit in the parking lot. Yeah.
So what about you described and, you talked about, sort of 5-out thing. What if and you mentioned if I tabbed, I have my 2 guys that I'm calling sort of more the post type guys that if they cut, they got to visit the post and hang around a second or 2.
Yep.
But what about even starting them out? What I'm thinking, because when I tried 2 things in practice. I tried starting them out. I know that, starting them out on those blocks is not a good idea. You want them a little higher than that. But
yeah,
I started there. But I also then started a guy. I put him up, I said, you got to move from elbow to elbow on the free throw line.
And that's a good spot to put them, right? You're saying you put 1 here, and then would you have the other 4 outside?
Yeah, and that actually worked well because that guy on his own, he saw guys cut, or he wasn't picking off guys like moving picks, but he saw guys around and he was doing back picks and.
Yep. So that's a really good isolation. So what would happen is, and the way I've done this in the past is, if you do that, these aren't in the exact right spots, but let's say he goes here, he's going to cut to the basket and he is going to automatically set a screen. It's an automatic back screen.
Yeah.
So same thing here is if the pass goes from the baseline up here, the post goes and sets the screen and then rolls. So the way you sell it to the big is, yes, you're setting a screen and we might get a look there, but you're going to roll afterwards. So there's a secondary look. So if they start cheating. Hey, everybody, I hope you're enjoying my discussion, my office hours with Coach Olson. It is really one of the unique things with teachhoops.com, the interaction that we're able to have, not only the resources, because the resources I think speak for themselves. There's so many of them and so many good ones, and ones we're adding all the time. But I think the interaction, the ability to be able to communicate and talk about basketball is a great thing. If you're liking this, I ask you to go subscribe and like, please. I know it's hard for people, and I'm not really good at it when I do it. If you're loving this, please go check out teachhoops.com. It's a place for coaches to get better. Right now we just had a price increase, and I think we're going to stay steady for a couple months. But at some point we're going to increase because we're just getting in demand, and I'm having to hire people to kind of help me run the system. So if you want to get in, I'd get in now. just go over and check us out at www.teachhoops.com. Get a 7-day free trial, and you can play around and see if it's for you. So please go check it out. And back to Charlie. There's a secondary look. So if they start cheating on the initial screen, then you're going to get the roll. So that's an easy thing to do, and it will leave lanes. Like if this guy's playing on the wrong side, it will leave lanes for these guys to still be able to drive to the basket.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it would be hard. It's harder to run this with 2 posts in at the same time if you're going to put them both inside, because it gets it too clumped together. But if you put them in the mid post or put them at the free throw line, then it can work.
Yeah, when I had him down in the low, we'll call it the low post,
right down here.
He wasn't necessarily in the way, but I didn't know whether to put him outside.
But his defender is.
His defender, yeah, he's sitting right there.
Yeah,
he's watching guys cut, and I know that it could be some mismatches. He could dump it off, but I'm not seeing that happen. I think his defender will follow him enough, and then the big guy will help out. And
the thing is, if you do put him here, and all of a sudden you tell him, "Hey, pop once in a while, just pop out and out," and then, "Hey, maybe once in a while go down here," you can always stop him from doing it, but. If you give him a little freedom and say, hey, your space is really above that line rather than down here, then he'll pop up high, and then that will leave the guy defending him won't know what to do. It will give him some good looks, I think.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because actually, one of the guys' profile would be he'd probably prefer dive into the hoop with rolls, and the other guy would probably rather like the pop.
Right. So that gives them both a little different, maybe, it'd be hard to have them both in at the same time. But, yeah, I mean, it can definitely work.
And in this, with this kind of setup, am I going to, because there's, as you pointed out real early in the conversation, when you do this, and what do you call it?
Read and react.
Read react. Okay. When you're doing the read react,
if you research read and react or you buy read and react stuff, I have me and a former high school coach for 25 years, and my assistant for 10, and a D1 coach. It boggles our mind. Trust me. The layers upon layers that Torba teaches, it's too complicated for the kids, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
When you do this type of thing, when you pointed out not only the layers, but you also, which is kind of obvious, or at least the way there's really no there's no rule. It's not one of the rules to pick on the ball.
It's not.
So you're not doing.
It's not. That would be. Am I
going to be able to get away with that?
I think so, because I think everyone's going to be picking the ball. You're going to have to work on it defensively. And if I was playing defense in the summer, I would jump every ball screen because kids can't pass. I'd jump the hell out of them.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I'm lost here.
So I'm talking about you. So you're going to have to work on. Other people are going to ball screen. So defensively, you're going to have to work on what happens when you get screened.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
My philosophy I just like to switch everything.
I like to jump it.
Do you?
But if you're not big enough, I like to jump it because I don't think kids pass out of it, and the roll is hard. But you can switch. Switch won't get you in trouble, especially if everyone's about the same. Mm-hmm. But if someone's killing you, double them. I'm telling you, I've gone against some of the best guards in the state. I double them.
Just double them?
It's going to you just jump them hard and make them pass out of it, and then just get back to your men. Because how many kids can actually pass out of that, and how many kids roll really well, and how many kids catch the roll and finish really well? It's the math teacher in me. You have all these variables that, yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but to get all of those working pieces working together at the same time, really hard. It's really hard.
So how do you? If you can't,
that's why we don't ball screen much.
Oh, so when you get screened, how do you jump the ball when one guy's got picked off?
So So here, let me show you. So,
or if the screen's good, I guess.
yeah, I mean, again, it depends. But so let's say he's here and he has the ball. So we'll call that the ball. And we have the defender here. Try to use my other thing. And then this guy comes up and sets the screen, and he's here. All right. So he is going to jump this like no tomorrow. So he's setting the screen here, and he's dribbling this way. Right. He is going to jump this. He is going to be able to get on it hard. So we jump that screen hard.
Okay.
Because there are very few kids, and I can probably name them in the state that can come out of a good hard. Because he's got to be able to roll, so he's got to be able to see out of that. We jump it hard. This is a hard, almost a double. All right, you're going to come and set the screen here. Well, then I'm just going to jump that. I'm not going to let you go that way. All right, so then you're going to have to back dribble. It's going to give us time that for him to get over, recover, do whatever he has to do.
So if he dribbles back, you just stay with him until
Then we just stay. Then you haven't gotten anything out of it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you don't back off and then re-engage?
Well, we will, or we'll double that.
But I mean, you'll double it strong until you get a result, and then see what happens, and then go from there.
Yep. But that goes back to, like, again, if you're playing your bigs, if you're worried about not having ball screens, which is fine, then what you're going to want to do is put those guys in the mid or high post, and that's going to be their job. Screen and roll, screen and roll. Some Prairie ran I don't remember what they call it. It's kind of a Princeton variation, but so you basically got to have someone screening. You don't want your guard. You want your other guard staying wide and spacing the floor, I think, though.
So if I got my guys, I got my 4 out.
Yep.
And they're just read and react.
You'd have one here.
But they're not. Nobody's picking anybody on the ball. I'll be fine.
Yep. Oh, you should be fine. If they're cutting hard, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I got them to cut hard. I mean, that was one. That's a death of it if you don't cut.
If you don't cut, you can't run it.
Yeah.
But how good of screeners are 13-year-olds?
True. Yeah. No.
I mean, it goes back to my guys aren't very good screeners. So I have to teach them how to screen. So I can't imagine it's been a while since I've had 13-year-olds, but
yeah,
my guess is they're average at best screeners. So I'd rather have them at least moving to the basket. And then you can teach the two bigs to screen. Like, here's how you're going to screen, and here's how you're going to roll. And we're going to play a lot of 2-on-2 games to kind of teach you that. That's easy.
I've heard a lot or read about or seen some philosophies with rolling, especially with youth, is not to spend a ton of time, with just dive to the back.
Don't worry about footwork.
Just go to the keep your eye and go.
If you worry about which foot goes where, holy balls, it's going to, cut. Screen, as soon as he gets off it, go. The footwork will figure out, but no.
Yeah.
And the only thing with footwork is you're going to want to talk about, for the screener, so those bigs, you're going to want to talk about, here's how you set a screen, here's how you get a wide base, that kind of stuff. So that's one of the places in footwork when they're young that I worry about. Like, you got to be set, how you set, how are you going and setting that screen, where are you setting it, you can use hand motions. You can do all sorts of stuff because that guy can't see it. He's facing his guy. So you can let the guy with the ball know which way you're going to screen, because who cares if the guy defending you knows? The guy that you're going to screen will not see you holding up a hand or whatever motions you want to do that. So the guy handling the ball knows which way to go. How to set it up. And then the problem is it's all these layers with screens. So then you got to teach them how to set up the screen. So you got to dribble away. You got to come back. It's like, oh my God, 1 or 2 practices a week. I don't know how you do that. I have a hard time with me doing that.
Yeah. These guys, I mean, when I had them in high post, I mean, they were just instinctively,
they're
setting screens the best they could. I mean, but they were big enough that all they have to do is sort of get in the way.
Right.
But what I've heard is on setting screens, as far as, obviously not having all the time to do technique stuff, but do you agree with, you want to make contact.
You do.
Right.
And you want a wide base, and you want to go find the foot.
Find
So you want
foot?
to, so you want to find where that you want. So if the guy's sidelines, you want to find his foot, and you want to get your feet on either side of it. Wide base, find your. So my head is the foot of the defender that's defending my guy. I want my feet on either side of that, and then you're gonna have to figure out. That's where it's again talking about angles and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, no.
yeah. It's crazy. So that's why it's so easy. Cut to pass, cut to the basket. You're big, they cut, you go screen them in. If you keep it simple, then in timeouts, what you're talking about is you didn't do this, and we only have 4 things to do, and you didn't do one of them. Or, you took a shot when someone was open. Why, you can get into those other layers, but
Yeah.
I'd be worried as much about shot selection too. Like, so even at this age, I might have them tape a game. We grade every shot we take all year long.
Yeah.
And the kids grade them. So that's a little bit of issue with summer basketball. Is like, all right, what 1 to 10 or A to F, what kind of shot was that? And why was that a good shot? That's a really hard lesson to teach to a 13-year-old. But if you have guys taking bad shots on a regular basis, it doesn't matter what offense you're running. It does. Like, if they're shooting D shots, you're going to have problems.
Well, and being the mathematician, what I've heard and read is, I don't know if it's true, but the teams with the highest shooting percentages
tend to win. It's a factor.
Correlates with, or at least, or is tied to more passes.
Yes.
More passes, higher percentage.
It is. And the better team wants more possessions. If you're better, you want more possessions. It's the law of large numbers. I'm thoroughly convinced that's true. Basketball on a Napkin, I think it is, by Oliver Dean. It's a great book if you like statistical stuff, because I'm a stats teacher. But basically, it's law. I mean, if I'm better than you, I'm going to press you, and we want possessions. Because over the long haul, I'm going to turn you over. I'm going to get easy buckets. I'm going to shoot more than you. We're going to shoot the same amount, but I'm better than you. That's why people press, because they think they're better, and they know there's not going to be a whistle, too.
And they can get a ton of shots and don't always have to be that great, but they get a lot of them.
And they get a lot of them, and they get easy ones.
Easy ones.
Like, they're not, it's the whole closing out. We could talk for 50 minutes about closing out. That the shooting percentage, nobody's on them. It's like, if a kid's a good shooter, it's like 60%. It drops 20% if you get a hand up.
Really?
And then it drops another 15 if you double them. Yeah, it's crazy. So I just tell the boys, and then this is going back to what we were talking about before. You have to explain why you're doing stuff. Like, I explain to my guys, why are we chopping our feet? Why are we getting a hand up? Because they all want to know why. Well, I'll tell you why. Here's why.
So they like the why?
They like the why.
Okay.
They love the why. You'll get them if you give them the why, they'll love you. Because they just want to know why. Why are we doing this? Why are we cutting? Why? Because I want, I convince my guys to score 43 points a game this year. When,
Yeah, I saw that. You won a lot of games and you didn't get to 50.
But the why was, do you want to win or do you want to lose? Because I said we can run up and down the court, but we'll lose, and we won't be able to beat Middleton, who was one of the best teams in the state, if we don't slow the ball up. So do you want to win? Do you want to lose? Here's why I think we should do this. And once I got them all on the bus, we were good.
Wow.
It took till about Christmas to get them all on the bus, and then once I got them on the bus, we were good. But
Wisconsin, that's what the Badgers, they limit the number of possessions because they know athletically they're overmatched,
and they take really, really good shots. They didn't at times this year, but in the past they've taken really good shots. Yeah.
They work the crap out of the ball.
Yep. And that's what this will do too. You might run 30 seconds before you get a shot. They might, that's okay, but you're going to get a really good shot.
These guys, that's one. They get antsy. They think,
right,
they got to get a 3-up or something.
Yes,
and
they'll take bad shots. That's why coaches don't have any hair. It's hair to God. All right, what was the other thing you want to talk about? I forgot.
Let's see.
Oh, I know what it was. So press break.
Yeah.
The premise of your press break should be the same as your I don't screen much on press breaks.
Okay.
I again don't screen much on press breaks. I do screen initially. So I'll put a guy here, I'll put a guy here, and I'll put, let's say, half courts here. I gotta grab my pen. Trying to do it on my computer is impossible. So half court's there, and then I'll put a guy here, and I'll put a guy over here. So hold on, that's gonna bother me. So and then a person throwing it in. So what I talk about is I talk about cutting, because if you cut across the front of the face, they can't defend you. So these two I will have screen each other initially. So this one will come here and screen, and he'll roll back. So they'll be in these spots, and then these guys will be coming up and down. So then as soon as the ball goes to the wing, so let's say the ball goes from here to here, so the ball's passed to here, these guys are cutting. So think about where the defender is. The defender is going to be on the side, right? They're going to be side fronting. If the ball is passed to this big or this wing here, I basically have these guys. So if we rediagram this now, so the guy just threw it in. He threw it to this person here. So there's the ball, okay? We have a person here. We have a person here. And we have a person back over here. So this person is not going to get beat deep. So he's going to be behind them on the side or somewhere. So if he cuts really hard in front of him, he will be open. If he cuts really hard to the middle, he will be open, because these defenders don't want to get beat deep. Yep. Now, they might try to come double. Great. If this person, the closest man to this one, this guy kind of comes back in and is the release. Mm-hmm. So one comes back in as the release, he stays away. Mm-hmm. So who's the closest guy? If they're going to double the ball, it's going to be this guy, right? Well, we're just going to cut across the front of your face at that point. So I basically try to get a 1-4 across. So eventually I try to get a 1-4 across. So I get one here, one here, one here. And you can do it any way you want in the 4-man here. And let's say the 5 guys throwing it in. You should have the 4 throwing it in. But let's say the ball goes to the 2, then this would be the 3. The 3 is going to cut across the middle. These 2 guys are going to go. If you tell them, and I drill the crud out of this, if you tell them they can't dribble the ball until it's past half court, they will get really good at this.
Oh, okay.
They get in problems because they try to dribble through it. And that's where the doubles come, and that's where the steals come, and that's where the layups come. I said 10 seconds. I said, if we get a 10-second call, I don't care, because we're going to get back and get to play defense. Yep. So if you're getting turned over, I don't care about 5-second calls, and I don't care about 10-second calls. I don't want them, but if we get them, they get the ball out of bounds, and now we get to defend, right? I'd rather defend than give up a 2-pointer or a 3-pointer.
Yep.
So you just got to drill that into them. It's like, I don't care if we get a 5 count. If you get the ball here, I'd rather have you hold on to the ball and make the official call a 5-second call than you turn it over and then they get a layup.
Yep.
Whatever. We can come back and defend then at least. And then I talk about them. Don't give up and here's why. Here goes to the why. Here's why we don't want to dribble it right away. Because what happens is the ball goes here and one starts dribbling, right?
Yep.
That's part of the problem. Is as soon as he picks the ball up, he's got 5 seconds. So what I say is, and I show them this. Okay, so 5 passes is the 1. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. Okay, your release now is your dribble. Put it on the floor. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. Pick it back up. Now you got 5 more seconds. So each one of those is a reset of the clock. Mm-hmm. So it's 4 and 4 and 5. You have 13 seconds when you grab that ball before a 5-second count is going to happen. But you're not if you dribble it right away. So I teach them, I just pound it into them that grab it, peek, look around. Then if you're getting pressure or you feel like you need to dribble it, then you can dribble it. Then if you're feeling like you're getting pressure and you can't do anything, pick it back up, and now you still have another 5 seconds before they're going to call it on you.
But But you're talking about the press, so you got 10 to get it over, all right?
You got 10 to get it over, but yes, you have 10 to get it over. I'm just talking about more in the half court once they.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. But 10 is a lot of time. Trust me.
Yeah.
You put it on your stopwatch and have them do it. It's not going to happen maybe once or twice a game, but very rarely. And if they're cutting hard, it's not going to happen at all.
Because I had as guys, once they are successful with the dribble, then they think they can do it every time.
Right. And then it goes back into telling them stories. Yes, you might be able to do that against 80% of the teams, but the teams that we want to beat, you can't do that against.
Yeah.
There's always, I tell my guys, there's always somebody bigger, faster, stronger than you, unless you're LeBron James or you're Steph Curry or somebody, but there's only one of them and 8 billion people. So there's always going to be somebody who's bigger, faster, stronger. So you have to neutralize that. How can you neutralize that? That goes back to the whys again.
Yep.
Why are we doing this? Why are we cutting? Because cutting is better. Passing, you can pass faster than you can dribble down the court.
Yep.
So I'm trying to help you score more points. So if 2 cuts hard, sure, there's no one in front of them, dribble all you want.
Yeah.
But, I can pass the ball from one end line to the other end. I can pass from here to here faster than you can dribble. It's the whole case of that horse and the runner. The horse is going to beat the guy running. It's just, the pass is going to beat the dribbler. So,
and I was thinking of this very thing with the 4. I was going to line them up like that.
I think that's a great way to do it. And the thing is, the only reason I stagger 2 and 3 is it kind of gets a little bit of motion, and 4 and 1 have to zigzag. So
what do you think about where you have the one?
I have a great press break on T-Tubes too. All my press break stuff's on T-Tubes. So
okay.
I did a thing in Minnesota maybe 5 years ago on it, and so I went through a lot of these different and I talk about it in that if you have an out of bounds play you like, it always works good for a press break when you're getting pressed.
Oh,
think about it. You're not going to shoot at that basket, you're going the other direction, but you can get the ball in. People always worry about getting the ball in. I go, you can always get the ball in. Run one of your out of bounds plays that you're trying to score a bucket off of underneath.
mm-hmm.
Get it in. And what you do after you get it in, I don't know, but you can always get it in.
Question I have is that one you showed on the side there.
Oh yeah.
I had an idea, and I just want to run it through you. Is
this one?
What over here on my left side? We have the 1, 2, 3, 4 across.
Yep.
I've been thinking about throwing it into my big guy. Is that
No, that's not a problem too. And you can have calls on this. How do you defend this if you're these guys? So you can just send somebody deep too. Do you have a football player? I'm telling you, you can go deep too.
Yeah,
it'll work.
Yeah. Well, I figured if we throw 4 guys up there, they're gonna play behind.
They are.
And then if I get it to my biggest guy, I know I'll get it in bounds. And
sometimes, and I'm not going to do it tonight, but if you go on the thing, it's called sideline, and I have my point guard actually run it in, and then we have a big come up and get it, and then the point guard goes this way on the side. That's another good tweak to it.
Okay.
So I sometimes have my point guard, and that freaks everybody out when you have a point guard throwing it in. It's like, I don't care. Because then I have a big coming up getting the ball, and then I have my point guard sprinting the opposite way because he knows where he's going. His defender doesn't know where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
So then he just sprints, and then the big guy just throws it to him. We're off to the races. So that works too.
Okay. And then the last thing is on my mind is, I understand with all these, setups and stuff with the swing and blah, 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 where, they label guys the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5.
Hate it.
I can speak the stuff, but when I'm having trouble because when I'm subbing guys in, they're going to be like, am I a 2 or a 3?
Never do it. It's driven one of my assistant coaches bonkers because he's always wanted to run a numbered break. He's always wanted to do that. The only people I really designate on my team is who my point guard is because I want them handling the ball. Mm-hmm. And then if I have a true big, like this year I had Chris, he was a 5.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones. Otherwise, when we run our break and stuff, it's like if the point guard normally has the ball in his hand. But if he doesn't, whoever gets the low block first can go to the low block first. I don't care. I just tell them these are your spots and here's where you got to go. I'm not a big one on the and that and who throws the ball in. Those are the only things I designate. The one man, and I usually have a 3 or a 4 throw the ball in. Like this year, I had Barry Alvarez's grandson. He's a 4 thrower because I trusted him. I knew he would make the right pass for the most part. So that's what you want to do. Those are the only things I designate, and I don't even call them a 4. I just say you're throwing the ball in and you're bringing it up. I don't think we're living in the world anymore where that's the case. What's a 3? I don't know. I mean, I think it's just changed a little bit.
Well,
it's too confusing too, to be honest with you. I can never keep track of, you're running down the right side of the court and you're running down the left. It's like, I just want to play, man. I go back to my playing days when I talk about that, basically.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I see these offenses, well, the odds start on the one side, and then it's like, I just don't want it. And it's refreshing to hear from a successful coach that I don't have to do that.
No, I wouldn't do that at all. I won't waste any time on that. Yeah.
My guys will be confused. I mean, when you sub in the game, I don't have an assistant, which is fine. And, these games with the running clock, blah, and it's just, I want to put guys in and have whoever gets down to the spots, fill the spots.
Right, and the only thing for you might be you two are only going to be in these 2 spots for your bigs. That might be the only thing you designate. You two are going to – this is going to be your 2 jobs, and here's why I'm doing it, and here's what we're going to get for you. Everybody else, you probably got 5 point guards if it's like any AAU team. You probably got 5 guys bringing it up. It doesn't matter. If someone's struggling, you just take them off the point at that point. Yeah,
and I know I got 2 or 3 guys that can manage the points, so – whoever gets the ball.
Right, and then it goes to mismatches sometimes. Like, I had 2 guards starting this year. So sometimes we had the 3 bring the ball up just because it was a good matchup. That's, you got to do that once in a while too.
Sure. And then I assume you'd recommend, having a couple of, in my back pocket, some quick hitters to take advantage of.
1 or 2 quick hitters. That's maybe where you'd want to put the ball screen in.
Yeah.
Some clear outs. You're not going to. I'm going to tell you, from someone that's coached enough at AAU, you better get a shot because you're not getting a call at the rim.
Yeah.
At the end of a game, if it's close or you need a bucket, you're going to have to hit a jump shot.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe it's a clear out drive and you are not going to shoot this when you drive. They don't know that, but I know it. You're going to kick it for this 3 or something. You have a much better chance of winning games that way. Unless you get a steal, something like that, they ain't blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
All officials are bad. No, just kidding for anybody. It's not true, but.
No, I mean, it's not all about winning, but I want to be organized and I want to give these guys a good basketball experience so they grow. But they have a good chance of winning because there's some talent I got this year. And
you want to just put them in an opportunity. You just want to give them the opportunity to win games. We lost our last game of the season. I put them in a place to beat the best team in the state, in my opinion, probably other than us.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, there's times we haven't done that. You just got to put them in the spot. And if they do it, they do it. You can only do so much. You can only put the piece of paper and the pencil in front of them. They got to, do the problem. But
yeah, well, you guys were close.
We were close. I wish we had that one over.
I went to the championship game.
Oh, well, the championship game was on Friday.
Yeah.
We played in the championship game.
Yeah.
We win that. We win the whole thing. But
yeah,
it was a good group too. They worked hard. They overachieved. We reached as high as we could reach. So you got to be happy with that as a coach. That's all. We were better in March than we were in November. That's all I ever want. You get better, then you're going to be good. But thanks.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Anything else?
No.
All right. So we'll come back in a month or so after you've had some frustrations.
Yeah.
Email me back and then we'll come talk again.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Steve.
All right. No problem. See ya.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that podcast as much as I did. I've been toying with doing this, kind of pulling back the curtain so people could kind of see what teachhoops.com is. Kind of, especially as far as the office hours go. And I'm really glad I did. This was a good one. There's a couple other ones I think I'm going to throw out over the summer so you can kind of see what the interaction is between myself and the coaches and the community that we're kind of building. So go over and check it out. You get a 7-day free trial. I don't think there's a reason I'm giving you a 7-day free trial. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you'll love the community. I think you'll love the resources. I think you'll love the interaction that all of us kind of have on a daily basis. And it's a great thing. So go over and check us out at www.teachhoops.com. And thank you again for taking time out of your day to listen to this podcast. And if you have 30 seconds, which again, we would really appreciate going over and leaving a review. Go over on iTunes, leave some stars. We would surely appreciate that. Have a great day.